So, and I'm saying that to say that as money is poured into something, then we see it develop over the time. But I think that in the time that they said that they landed on the moon, I just don't. I really don't believe it, Pastor. And I know that
Oh, okay.
I know
Well, you know what?
crazy.
I'm 65 years old, and I can remember the moon landing. And all of our family sat in front of the TV. I was 9 years old.
Yes.
And I was watching it on TV, and I believed every bit of it. I mean, as a matter of fact, an old person who was like maybe around at that particular time, they were in their 50s, right? And they were maybe 50 or 60, and they looked at the TV and they said, while we were sitting in the room watching all of this on the black and white,
right,
and it was all, she said,
right,
they just lying. That's what she said. She said they are lying. It was an old mother.
We gotta trust them old mothers, Pastor. They
She said it was an old mother, and she said they just lying. And I actually at 9 years old got very angry because I was like, no, they're not. They're telling the truth, And so,
right.
As a child, I was watching this whole thing, and I said, "Oh, this is this has got to be the truth because it's on TV." So, that's what I was thinking. I said it was on TV, so I believed it, and it's hard for me. It's hard for me. You taking me through a mind trip. This is mind blowing.
Pastor,
This is my
Pastor. See, they had fake news way back then.
Oh, really?
Had fake
I
news.
can't believe it. And people talk about fake news, but
fake news didn't just start with the man. It's the fake news has been around.
Do you really believe in fake news too?
Oh, Pastor.
Oh, Lord.
It is so much fake. Again, remember, I come from a medical background.
Okay.
And I've seen so many things that have been done and people believe in it. And I've seen the doctors give medicines and for one thing as it destroys another. And I've seen people hold on to every word that they say and everything that they do, and they believe in that, but yet they're not healed.
Well,
and they're not cured.
Maybe that it's a possibility. We better get off that because
okay, all right.
There may be a possibility that they meant the best.
Yeah. Well, let me say that. I
but you, as a surgical nurse, I've never had that experience, so I don't want to denigrate the doctors or anything
I'm not.
like that.
Let me say this. I said I've seen miracles happen, and there are, just like in anything, Pastor, there are some good doctors and there's some bad surgeons. There's some good and there's some bad.
So you're attributing the healing process to the miracle working power of God.
Amen.
Rather than the hegemony, this great big group of people that somehow have all of the cures that we need. You still believe in God.
Amen.
All right. Well, YouTube, you heard it. This man here believes in God, but that's okay. We're gonna let him go on that one. We're not gonna pull the chopping block out yet.
I believe in God, and I question man. I question the God complexes of the world. I question the Hollywoods of the world. Because if everybody really understood where the word Hollywood came from, and coming from the Holliswood, but that's a whole nother show, Doc.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Where did Hollywood come from? That's an interesting topic.
But if you just think about, it's kind of like where the magic happens. The magic happens in Hollywood, and the Holliswood. If you look up Holliswood and look at what that was significant for, and how when you start talking about witchcraft and how the warlocks and how they used the Holliswood, which was an item that they would use to cast their spells and to do all the things that they would do with this Hollis Wood? Because you think, ask yourself, where does that name Hollywood come from? And
Oh,
it's all make believe. It's a lot of make believe, And
wow.
so again, we get bored,
Claudia, they
Pastor.
may want you
We
to
get
have your own show, brother. They said Claudia has it. You know what? This is the first time I've ever talked to you about this,
I know.
about any of this stuff, and I was shocked when I heard you saying this, and I said, "What has this man been doing? Has he been watching some conspiracy channel or something? What is going on?" I'm
Pastor,
gonna tell you,
it's
with my virgin mind, I couldn't. It was hard for me to receive a lot of these things here. But my audience over here, I don't know. The audience is going nuts because they are conspiracy theorists too. I don't know how I ended up with such a conspiracy theory audience. You guys,
Pastor,
you guys are killing me.
and the funny thing about it, like I said, I've heard and tuned in on a couple of your shows, and when I hear some things, I say, "Ooh, I want to be on that show." I need to. So of course, when we had the my wife's birthday and our anniversary, and you and your beautiful wife, y'all came and celebrated with us. That was my opportunity. I had you as a captive audience.
Yeah.
And family, I was grilling them. I was asking them a lot of things. I was wanting because I
Well,
want to know.
and that's the reason we came on. But really, I was really, when you had given me, well, you being in the medical field, you're interested in cleansing and wholeness and all of that.
Yeah,
And so that's where we have been mostly hanging out, where you talk to me about different supplements that you've given me over the years and that kind of thing. You just recently gave me a coffee
yes,
that I have been testing out, and it's been amazing.
yes.
The results of the coffee that you've given me. And hey, anything that can bring longevity and everything. So what I do is I take the coffee and I mix it up. I mix the coffee in with, I have that coffee, and that coffee has the coconut milk and all the other stuff in there. But I'll mix that in with other coffees, because there's a wonderful coffee that I already have, and I get it from Janine. She gives me the coffee, so I just kind of like mix that together. But it has a wonderful taste, like blossoms and everything. But what you just sent me, can you tell me about it? Tell me about
Yeah,
the
Pastor,
product that you sent me.
I believe
Can you talk about it?
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
And coming from the medical background, I do believe that food has changed. And can I say the GMO? Can I say the GMO word? Can I say
Yeah,
that?
GMO. Yeah,
Yeah.
GMO.
So, Pastor, there's a lot of things that we are eating today, like seedless grapes and seedless watermelon. When I first started getting seedless grapes, I thought it was the coolest thing in the planet. I'm thinking, man, because I didn't like fooling with the seeds. But then I
Uh-huh.
had to ask myself a question: that if it didn't have seeds, then how did it grow? If the watermelon doesn't have seeds, how is it growing? And I'm looking at these perfectly shaped lemons when I go buy lemons, and they're just, perfect, beautiful yellow, all on the same size. And anybody that knows nature is not like that. You're not going to see a perfect lemon and see a whole bunch of the exact picture of what we think a lemon should look like, with the beautiful yellow peel, and just the grapes are really pretty. The grapes are all sweet, and there's never now we used to have seasons when you could eat certain things. Now, Pastor, you just eat it. It's always there. We always have grapes. We always have watermelon. We always have, but things have been modified, and so because of that, the nutrition that we're getting from our food is not there anymore. It's not real, and so our bodies are pushing away, and so we wonder why all of us have those. There's a lot of stuff out there. I can't say, there's causing all these things, and especially in our country, the things that we put in the water, fluoride. Can I say fluoride?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I guess you could say fluoride, but because when I think about the things that you were talking about, though, the fluoride, we have to question even the air we breathe, because there are people who say that there's something wrong with the air. There's when I look at the sky totally looks different than what
Yes.
it did.
Look at what's happening in the environment. When you look at one part of the country, we're flooding, another part we're on fire, another part you have tornadoes and earthquakes, and
Yeah,
I mean, you have to say, Pastor, that God is angry. And
yeah.
I just feel that he's when I say angry, I'm saying that he's not pleased with what's happening and the things and the manipulation is being done to his people, to his children.
So
And
get back to the seeds and tell me about those seeds, because when you mentioned the seeds, I didn't notice that I can almost get a watermelon that has no seeds, and that's unbelievable.
it's Pastor, how is that even possible?
Yeah, what happened to the seeds? And if we can't have seeds, we definitely can't grow anything.
There you go.
So you think this
So
is like this the fruits and vegetables are changing on their own, or what do you think?
no, those fruits and vegetables are not changing.
Hmm.
That's not how it works.
Okay.
The fruits and vegetables are not identifying as something else. Say
Okay.
that.
They're not identifying. They're not identifying.
So I'll have to be careful with that too, Pastor. I'm not,
Okay.
Pastor. They might. I don't know if you're going to invite me back to your show. There's a whole lot of stuff.
Oh Lord.
There's a lot of stuff.
Okay. Well, that is something, because everything's changing. You're right about that, and you never know what you're looking at.
You never
Right?
know what you're looking at.
True.
So let me get back on subject. So I because of what they're putting in the food, I'm a person that believes in supplements, and I believe in organic, and I believe in looking for the things that have not been genetically modified. I believe in looking at things that are gluten free. I believe that they're looking at things that don't have soybeans in them, and don't have sugar in it, and doesn't have all the things that when we sometimes we get caught up in the enjoyment. Like I said, we get caught up in the grapes that don't have the seeds, and the watermelon that don't have the seed, because God forbid we got to take that extra time and spit the seed out, right? I say eat the seed; it's good for you, right? But but they told us if you ate the seed, then you would grow a watermelon.
And that Bible tells us to eat the seed. It actually does. God has given us every herb bearing seed for food. Yeah,
yes, because when we say listen to the grandmothers, think about how they were able to survive without all the medicines that we have today. So we got to be careful on that. But back on the supplements, I believe in supplements. I believe in giving additional things to my body to offset, what I'm not getting in the food. But the problem with that is the consistency, because my wife, she thinks I have issues because I believe in listening and reading and doing the research. And when I see something that I like, I want it and I order it. And I say, okay, baby, we're going to start taking this. And then I come back and I say, okay, baby, we're going to start taking this. And then I say, okay, baby, we're going to add this to it and add this to it. And she's like, why are we taking all these? And so because of that, I find myself taking things sometimes, and then I'll try something else. But it's keeping that consistency, keeping that in your bloodstream to get the results that you want over a period of time. So with that, I finally found some way that I can get the supplements that I need, and I can stay consistent with it. And guess how that is, Pastor?
Okay.
It's this right here.
All right.
Because people drink coffee as a comfort food. Some people need it to wake up in the mornings. That's why I love your show, Coffee with Jesus. I definitely need coffee to wake up at this time of morning with you, because I normally don't. I may be up, but I'm not.
So we're just gonna drink coffee all the way to our health, huh? You're gonna get me. Everybody's gonna get mad at me because some of these people do not drink coffee, and so I just call it Coffee with Jesus. But Tell me what are you talking about when you talk about coffee?
So this particular coffee that I share with you and why is doing the things that you're doing and the reason that you're feeling it, Pastor, is that uh, this is what we call a healthy coffee. It has a Arabica bean, coffee bean. It has pomegranate in it. It has coconut oil. It has camellia oil. It has 7 different superfoods in it. It has your collagen. It has your pumpkin, your ginseng, your pine bark,
So what is the name
your
of the
prune
company?
juice, your acai, your mangosteen, your bilberry, your vitamin A, B12, B6, has your magnesium. All of that is in the coffee what the body needs, Pastor. And
Okay.
so when I started drinking this particular coffee, it did more than just wake me up.
Yeah.
It gave my knees that was hurting. I feel I can't say there's a miracle there, but my joints don't hurt anymore. My
Well,
feet.
I can say you sent me some of the coffee, and like I'm still I feel I'm not really feeling bad. So for me, it was more like maintaining. If you say it's all this good stuff in it, all of these various things that have been identified to be good for your health, I'm very much into that. But I tell you again, I feel. When I was drinking it, I didn't see too much of a difference between coffee and coffee. I was like, okay, well, he says it's good and it tasted good. That was really the thing that got me was the sweetness. And I said, how is it? How does this coffee have a little bit of sweetness and it doesn't have sugar in it? That was what blew my mind. And now I said, how does this kind of taste? This is pretty good. So this company that's doing this, is this a product company or what do they do?
Yes, they have they do nutritional drinks as well. They hold on one second, Pastor. Just 1 second. I
Okay.
apologize. Hold that thought 1 second.
Well, let's see. Well, he might be gone to the restroom coming. Maybe the coffee got to him. Either way, hey guys. Anyway, you know what, you guys, we're going to be also being in New York, and that's going to be on the 23rd of the 23rd. I know it's going to be possibly around 10 o'clock. So if you are interested in doing the New York thing with me, just